more trucks in the war. You know, just fun stuff. The harvester battalions, our guys, plant workers who volunteered to become mechanics and go off to fight and repair, you know, equipment in the middle of battle on the front lines. They're there repairing. I mean, I have a metal plaque. It's just twice awarded by the President of the United States to the harvester battalions or something. I mean, it's pretty cool. All the trucks, we made so many. Here's another story I love. That during the war, we sent, as part of the Lend-Lease Act, we sent trucks to Russia, lots of trucks to Russia. Mostly, or a big portion, our KR-11. They loved it. They used it, they loved it, they kept it after the war. They bought our tooling and made a copy. And that copy of that truck, I think they were using it in the 1960s or 70s. I mean, it ran forever. Here they put it on a postage stamp, 1947. Here they copied one. You can see on the left Fort Wayne, and here's a whole line of trucks, military trucks, getting ready to be sent to Russia. And there on the right is a brochure of one of their trucks. You know, again, they copied ours. China, same thing. I don't know if China got the tooling from Russia or if they just outright copied it somehow, but our 2 years ago, our guys were going to China to make a deal to build engines and maybe trucks in China. They went to First Auto Works, at one of the big automakers over there, and outside the office building is a bronze truck of ours on a pedestal in a square or something outside the office building. I mean, so they copied our truck, the G-Fang, and it was the first motorized vehicle ever made in China. It's a copy of our truck. And they put it on a postage stamp. Oh, I didn't bring any. And they put it on their currency. A fen is a tiny little bill this big, but I just bought 100 of them online for 10 bucks or 20 bucks or something. But how important is that? Now if you go to China, you can't, it's not common currency. It's worth, you go to an antique store to buy it, but people brought me them back before, but now I have my own collection of them. And here's another one of those stories of persistence. You know, we tried to make a cotton picker for years and years and years, and we finally got it in 1944. It really didn't become popular till the 50s, but you know, there was just version after version after version, and that's something the company prides itself on. Is if we have an idea, we know something, there's a problem there to be solved, it would help a lot of people, we will do it, and I'm really impressed. Just W series. Today we call these big trucks severe service, but you know, and I guess the first built with the diesel in mind. You all know this story, but I missed for the first year or something, I was talking about this, that Irma Harding's initials were IH. You know, I missed that piece of the story, but. And how many women were in Evansville were really writing the recipes and answering the letters, and I mean, talking about winning over an audience. I mean, I think it's great stuff, but you know, too much of, spread the company too thin. But the KB series, you know, more chrome, bigger than the K, and very cool, I think. KB buses. Here's a shot from Louisville. Again, if I present this in corporate, just somebody gets an idea of how big our production was. I mean, come on, how many thousands of tractors are there? Now here in, 48, finally our truck capacity passed our farm equipment, you know, in sales. But here's one of my favorites that probably most of you have seen now, the Doris Day endorsement of a steamroller or a road roller. I mean, I can't put those two ideas together. I can't imagine the conversation at the ad agency. Oh yeah, we'll get Doris Day to promote our construction equipment. Yeah. Like, you know, the L series, you know, kind of remarkable. I mean, first Ted Ornis, the thing he worked on refining it, taking it from the R to the L. The Compo Vision cab, was that made in Chicago, I think, at the Chicago Manufacturing? I mean, it was, somebody else designed it, but, you know, it was just a common cab that everybody used. Okay, here's, Fred points this out, Fred Crisbin in his book, but this is one page of options for the L series. I mean, today at Navistar we're trying to offer fewer and fewer options to make manufacturing a profitable business, and not, but you could get how many different weights and wheelbase combinations. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's you know, probably led to some problems later on. But we wanted to be everything to everybody. That doesn't work. Maybe this is out of order, but the R series. But here, part of that, you know, vertical integration. The ore boats that we own, just to haul our iron ore from Minnesota to Chicago, just crazy. The Harold McCormick airplane, an old bomber. There's another ore boat. One of these is the International and one of these is the Harvester. More buses. You know, when we bought the Huff company, it just, everything was right. Suburbia was expanding. You know, the interstate highway system was going. It was great. Here's a plant in Australia in '52, a truck plant. Here's Ted. Everybody probably knows this photo, but here he is with a bunch of students. I must have been a remarkable man. Everybody I talked to though says, I'm just a regular guy, went to work with the rest of us, and some of you know him or knew him, but he's a hero to me. You know, pop culture stuff, we were everywhere, right? Golden Books, a whole thing. You know, and what's on the truck in the background but a crawler? I mean, it's farm-alls, travel-alls. You guys know these. I don't need to. But you know, famous people with our stuff. Ansel Adams, and then John Wayne, our travel-alls. The V series I love. We have one of these. I think they're beautiful trucks. You know, forward control buses. Okay, here he is, Tracto. I love him. I really do. I think that's brilliant marketing. I mean, would he go to what, state fairs or trade shows, or where would they?
Oh, Farm Progress Show,
yeah.
Louisville, the big farm machinery show, any kind of shows that International Harvester would travel to.
And putting your kid next to him is perfect photograph of that. Loadstar again, I think the Loadstar, the one out here on the left, I think is Ted Ornis's supreme work. I know he's famous for the Scout, but I think the Loadstar, and our styling guys now, today, all point to the Loadstar as, you know, as a brilliant piece of work. They think it's the best looking truck maybe the company's ever done. Right? You know, but this is what life was like before computers. Maybe some of you guys remember that time, but you know, it took an army of people on drawing boards to make a truck. This is my friend George's RDF with a Rolls-Royce engine, and he just restored the yellow one. But, you know, this is, I love the Cab Over series. We didn't have one in our collection. I made a presentation to management about history and talked about the Emeryville, and then they had me go out and buy one for our collection. And that's my truck. I'm very proud of that truck. I can't talk tech. I don't know mechanics. We sent a guy out to Ohio to find it, test it, negotiate the deal, but I found it when nobody else could find one. The Scouts, I'm not doing you guys service here. This is just a brief overview, but I love the Scout. And John was good enough to let me ride in one not too long ago. You guys know this story, I'm sure, but asked to design something to replace the horse. I mean, ooh, and I've got typos in there at the bottom. I love this contrast, the stylish young women on a polka dot Scout, and then the nuns buying this. It was something for everybody. It was the B and C series. Okay, here I think I have this right with the help of a friend. The first truck that Ted Ornis designed from the ground up. Does that sound right, the Jubilee? And here I think is a clay modelers working on that truck. Do I have that model right? I mean, I think so. But pink? Did we really do pink?
Yeah.
I think we did pink.
Yeah.
More cabo.
There was a pink one for sale on eBay last week.
Really?
You could still, the paint wore pretty bad, but it's original.
Okay, down in Texas.
In Vietnam we made.
Sold in the cab.
Am I running over off all of my time?
Can you see? Yeah.
217. Yeah.
Okay, I love this bus. It's one of our D series, but Tom Wolfe's book, The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, for guys my age who knew that era well, a bus that the Grateful Dead entertained in. And, I just was asked to make new wraps for a bus for a product introduction in November, and I pulled this out. I said, well, don't go crazy, Tom. I said, this inspires me more than a yellow school bus, sorry.
So that one's in a collection too then, right?
What?
That one's in a collection too?
That
museum?
No.
No.
I wish it was. The Loadstar, of course. Now, I did a whole series on Australia, and I know you guys know this truck, but I found literature from over there, and they assembled a lot of the trucks that we designed and built here, but then they had their own design department over there, their own proving grounds, and this is one of the trucks, designed and built over there. There's another one that's a version of ours, right? But with their own front end or their own grille. I think kind of cool. The series, the trucks and tractors with turbine engines, I could go into that, but I'm running out of time, I think. So we design trucks for the Australian military. Here I think, designers look back maybe when they're doing stuff. If you look at the Fleet Star on the left, maybe were they looking at the KBs or something? If you see that detail on the side of the grille, I kind of think somebody was looking back when they were designing that truck. Not sure. You know this story, I'm sure. We have a product on the moon, Alan Bean, something that our Solar division developed, the container for the nuclear fuel for the weather station or whatever is up there. We helped win the Civil War and we put stuff on the moon. I mean, this company has a history, We built something for all the stages of the Saturn rockets. It's remarkable to me. Here's a truck and the design team in Fort Wayne. Glamour and guts is how they advertise that truck, but full-size clay models, we're still doing them today. Of course, we have 5-axis milling machines that do a lot of the work. They then touch it up, but you don't see things in drawings that you. Otherwise, I think you guys know this story, but I hadn't seen that clay model photo before. But we should have, we could have. We were so close. Here in Australia, just one of their yards. So the scale of production anywhere, but in Australia we were exporting to 80 countries from Australia. I mean, to me that's remarkable. Modern tractors. You know, the gas turbine thing, Solar Division made things for like, whatever this is, natural gas pipelines, you know. I mean, things that you wouldn't, doesn't look like a truck company to me. Multiplex wiring, we were and are the best at that today. I mean, we developed things in the 70s and the 80s that went into the NGV cabs, into the stuff that came out in 2003. If you send a truck, you know, to a bodybuilder and you want a dump put on the back or a mixer, we have the best electronics, the easiest to use, the open architecture, software, whatever. We're 10 times easier than, and we're still today. Today, it's Diamond Logic electrical system, but it's the same thing, and we're way better than anybody at it. The S-Series, you know, Fred Krisman always told me that the S-Series saved the company when nobody was making any money. We were still selling S-Series trucks. And Baystar's still hard at work today. Cargo Stars, the DT466, everybody I think knows. I love this illustration from a 1977 annual report about the future. It's like they're working on spaceships. Here, how global were we here? Stamp in Mexico. Here, the combine development, another one of those persistence things. We, you know, since 1912 or something, trying to solve that problem. Finally, 1977, the axial flow combine, and it's the technology that is in use today by everybody else. We nailed it. We were the ones. Just some photos from places you wouldn't expect. Here in Cairo, a billboard. You all know the story of how the company nearly went bankrupt, I think, in the 80s, and the things we sold off, the farm equipment, the construction equipment, we quit making the Scout, you know. Well documented in this book, but Guy Fay now is questioning some of Barbara's findings, and I don't know. I think he's writing for it in Red Power or something, but she may have had a few things wrong there.
That was a college thesis.
Really?
Yeah, that's all it was. That publisher.
It may not be perfectly right, but you know, people have been suggesting to me that we need to write a new chapter with our struggles today. Here, the power shift transmission. Okay, here's something maybe nobody knew, but the agency in New York that was rebranding the company came up with a whole series of names, and they were syllable combinations done by a computer, and that's how they came to Navistar, but the runner-up was Amrex. And I'm glad we didn't go there. What, the American Kings? I think not, you know. Some trucks, you know, here. Mongolia, postage stamp in Mongolia with our tractor on it. Nicaragua. Here's the guy that designed this logo. I know the designer people in Chicago, and they are well connected. And so this guy, Richard Feldman, did that version of the logo.
Do you know what that logo is? You know what that is? It's the road to the future.
Yes, yes. Yes, because we still call it the Diamond Road today, you know. Postage stamp in Canada. Here's Dave Allendorf, who designed what Fred called the 1000 series, the QSP cab. Dave was the design director for 29.5 years, just retired 2 years ago, but a good man. He designed these buses. This Huey injection system really was a huge innovation. I know I've got to go fast. The ET6E smokeless diesel. We did this whole program with Ford Power Stroke engines. You know, this is the bus company we bought, and we're the only ones that make a complete bus. Make them in Tulsa. You know, we used to just make a front end. Somebody put a bus back end. Escobedo. This is a plant. I know some of you aren't fond that we work in Mexico. This recently won an award as the best, highest quality plant we have. I mean, they won't keep that forever. Guys in Springfield are really kicking butt right now, but these guys do a good job. Guys in my department go down there every month to see stuff. We bought, you know, a big engine company in Brazil. A lot of sales in Brazil. A lot of trucks are made in Brazil for shipping overseas. Here's the Springfield, the stamping plant. I was just there yesterday. I just found photos of it, but it's remarkable. Blue Diamond program with Ford was flawed, but we made trucks for them. We still make trucks for them, and engines. Today we make, what, the F650 and the F750, but today we make it with a Cummins engine. But you know, this kept the company afloat. This was the cash cow for a long time until we had warranty issues with the engines. Huntsville, we had 2 plants there making engines. Today we have 1. We closed the smaller engine plant and moved that production to Chicago. I still think our current series of trucks is old in the industry, and I still think it's better looking than anybody else's in the industry. Here's the Tulsa bus plant, just a monstrously big place. Here's the guy that designed the logo today, Joe Duffy. I've been trying to put faces to these names and to these logos. You know, I think the Navistar defense thing, but it also kept the company afloat for years recently. And there's, you know, dozens of models we make, not just this one. We did the hybrid for a number of years and it was successful, but when we went to compressed natural gas, that faded. This was a partnership in India. We used to have a partnership there that made tractors, and now recently we had one making trucks, but we've sold off our half of that business. One of favorite trucks of some of you guys here, the CXT. We hired a model for that photo. We hired a small guy to make the truck look even bigger than it is. Tricky stuff. You know, Pixar connection. I mean, we are woven into the culture of this country, you know, or the world. We're the Prostar. Here's an early version, a prototype of the Prostar, and it's got stuff on it that I've never seen. So this isn't a production model. This is a prototype, but I think it's a running prototype. And Dave Beigel, the guy pictured here, worked on the Prostar, but he's really the designer of the Loadstar. If you wonder who did that cool work, it's Dave. Today he's driving a truck. Didn't want to move to Lyle from Fort Wayne. He had 2 dreams in life: to design trucks and drive trucks.
Is he driving a Loadstar?
No, he's probably driving a Freightliner or something. We have big new programs. We go outside for ideas. So we went to BMW, we've gone to Porsche for ideas. So these are some Prostar concepts. Our guys always talk about eyeglasses or faces on trucks, and this one looks like granny glasses or something. But these are things the BMW got. You know, I've got dozens of these, but you know this story, I'm sure, Craig Morgan and, you know, the International Harvester story, or song. This is the beginning of a good and bad time for us when we started making engines called Max Force. Today we're not using that name very much anymore. We've now got engines called the N13, and you know, this is what got us into all our trouble here. We couldn't meet. Dan Houston wanted to do this EGR program, a different way of meeting EPA standards, and it didn't work. And he refused to have a plan B. So that's why he's no longer with the company, and all management's been removed. New people are in, and we're getting some. We're working with Cummins again, and it's going to be okay. But we also got kicked off the New York Stock Exchange for a few years. We got our books straight and got back, but you know, Chatham, a plant we closed, but you know, we've been there for 100 years or something. Look, Iceland. We've got our products in Iceland on postage stamps. You know? Here's the guy. I was at Bagby. I was at the company when we designed this logo. And Andre is a guy who came in as a freelancer. He was our logo guy. He was a Russian guy. He'd come in, and so he designed the Navistar logo. We changed the color a little later. But here's when they introduced the Lone Star. That D-Max is crazy powerful, 7-liter engine in it. It's not just Photoshop. That's a real machine sitting in our lobby right now. Here's clay models of the Loadstar in Fort Wayne. Here's my favorite truck of all time. Not just the Loadstar, but the Harley Loadstar. There's only a few of those. We've got kits to make more, but the deal with Harley, you know, we canceled it because we were going to lose money if we paid Harley all the money they wanted for us to keep making them. But here's, you know, clay models of the Loadstar. We bought and then sold the Monaco business after we designed a few of them. We work with these guys in the Czech Republic making military trucks. Here's a band, another band called the International Harvesters in Sweden. Here's our partnership with Caterpillar. We bought out this partnership, but these trucks are made in Springfield and sold in Australia. Here's one of our, you know, our indie foundry, now called Pure Power Technologies. Here's my modern version of the robot, although only done in Photoshop. We did it Bagby for a competition with USA Today, and then they said, no, 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 we wanted kids to do it with crayons. We said, oh. TerraStar, you know, we got one sitting out here. I hope it makes it. We're looking for a new engine for it right now, but it's, again, we're everywhere. Here's a Workstar in South Africa. Here's, in Fort Wayne, we have two warehouses. One has over 1 million drawings, engineering drawings, that I want scanned and preserved. And right now there's a legal hold on it. Somebody has a lawsuit and we can't touch any of the drawings, and it would cost an awful lot of money to do it, but they're there, and the warehouse isn't heated or air conditioned, no humidity control. But there's another warehouse there that has all these molds. I wanted some for a museum, I haven't got them, but this is like the Indiana Jones warehouse you see at the end of the movie or something. This is incredibly big, and
Any Scout stuff in there?
yeah, I don't think so, no. But maybe, I don't think so. The E-Star, you know, we had an electric truck with a partnership with somebody in the UK, and we don't anymore. We bought and still have Continental mixers where that's my logo on a mixer. You know, we wanted to sell the whole product rather than just the chassis, so now we make mixers. Here's Neil Young and his country band, the International Harvesters, released like last year or the year before. This is a truck that was designed and tooled and ready to go into production and then canceled. This would be for Brazil and Europe. Here's the Porsche Design Studio did concepts for it. The design we went with is one of ours, a guy named Steve who works with me. You guys know stuff like this, Tractor Mac. This is just, we designed with a designer from CAT, we designed this truck. If you look at the back end of a front end loader or a wheel loader of CAT, the back end of the loader looks like the front end of this truck. It's a brand identity thing they did. But this is really, it's a Paystar. It's one of our trucks with modification. It has a really nice cab interior. You know, we're making engines, I think, in China for this company, JAC. Garland, Texas, the plant closed. We just had too much production capability. And, this is us here in Lisle. This is the world headquarters. It's a beautiful campus if you come to visit. It's, you know, on the right are the engineers and designers, on the left are all the marketing and executives and, you know, accounting, and that's the lobby. We have this 8-foot high circle of photos, photo montage, 17 feet off the ground of history. This is the Scalp Lobby. We have, each building's named after a product, and I didn't design this. They put a stupid 50s drive-in behind this photo, but it's an honor to the Scout, and I think everybody likes it. We're working with compressed natural gas now quite a bit for local stuff. This is the retiree I brought in for Veterans Day. He's one of the Band of Brothers guys. He's 90, today he's 92 years old, Al Mampry. we had news crews out, trying to, he told stories about what it was like to work at International Harvester back in the day. And he had great stories. It sounded like a fraternity house. But we had, hundreds of our employees there for this presentation in the lobby. He signed one of our trucks, Clubmobile from World War II, that all other veterans have signed, but they gave him a special place on the side of the truck to sign. Now we're back with comments. I think I told you that. We designed this. It was called the Loadstar. Released it in 2012. Announced it in 2012. It's a garbage packer. It's going to be a stainless steel cab. Since everything's gone south, we're not making this, but they also figured out they couldn't make a stainless steel cab in production. They could make a prototype, but and they also made it 1 inch too wide for legal. So I wasn't there, but this is the plant that we leased for a long time, Cherokee, Alabama. It's a mile long. Used to be a rail car plant. We've now finally leased it back to a rail producing company, but we were going to make the garbage trucks there, and we bought a business that made the back end of the trucks. So we can bring it all here. This is the most beautiful manufacturing facility you can imagine, but a mile straight long. So, a lot of lines, manufacturing lines go down and turn and come back, or this is just, and bays or docks all along both sides so you can load in. I mean, I know why they did it, but it didn't work out. These are some of the things we've sold off here to make the business go. When we bought Monaco Coach, we bought the largest horse trailer company in the world, Bison Coach. We owned 80% of the market share in Canada and 60% in the US, and I'm sitting with the marketing guys and they're saying, we own a horse trailer company? I mean, they didn't even know, but this is the guy who runs the design department now, Chris Ito. He's my boss during the day. This is his Horizon truck, new truck he just designed. Probably a replacement for the Prostar or an upgrade of the Prostar. Horizon's the in-house name, but it has